Hey everybody, this is Julian from Raw Physique again. Today this will be a vehicle video, not a fitness video, and I am gonna talk about switching from 35-inch tires to 37-inch tires. These are the 37-inch tires right here. So for a quick shot of this, these are 37 by 13.5 KM3 BFG Goodrich mud terrain tires on 20-inch rims. And there's the old 35-inch tires by 12.5 in the rear. So for a quick backstory, this is a Black Ops Edition F150 put together and designed by Tuscany. I think that's how you pronounce it. And one of the options that it comes with are 35-inch tires. So from the factory with this company, what they do is, in order to fit 35-inch tires on an F150, there's a couple things you have to do. Let me show you. So if you can see in here, this bar right here, that bar is the front crash bar. That has to be trimmed, removed, or cut. Same thing with this rear bar right here. That's the rear crash bar. So the crash bars can be like hammered back away from the tire, because otherwise the sides of the tire will scrape and hit those crash bars. Also, you got to worry about the width of the tire hitting right back here, or scraping on any one of these arms down here as well. Then there's sometimes trimming that's required right around here, because the tire will hit the fender flares, and same thing with here as well on the front fender flares. So you can see where they've already done some trimming and removed some of the inner fender. And you also have to cut, I don't know, it's like a wind diffuser. You have to cut this as well, because the 35-inch tires will hit all that in there, and it'll scrape, and it could even pull your bumper off if the front treads grab the bumper while you're driving or mudding or whatnot, and it'll just pop it right off. So all that being said, that is for 35-inch tires. These are 37s. Here are the 35s next to the 37s, if I could keep it from moving. 35s versus 37s. Kind of a shitty comparison, but this is what they look like. Here's the old KM2s with their design. Here's the new KM3s with their tread pattern design. It's kind of hard to tell because this damn thing is bald. I mean, look at the inner tread here. It's basically gone. So as for modifications, in order to fit those larger 35s on there, from the factory, they also put in, it's a 6-inch lift. I have no idea what lift they actually use, but it's just a standard 6-inch lift. And when you go to check the lift under there, it just says Black Ops. So yeah, I basically have no clue what the actual lift is. So the reason for actually making this video is when I was trying to research what max size tires I could fit on here without rubbing or without having to do any other crazy modifications. Since I already had 35s on here from the factory, what would be the biggest size I could fit on there without rubbing? So for quick dimensions, if you look up on the BFG website, the 35-inch tires have a 34.4-inch height. The 37-inch tires have a 36.5-inch height. And then the width is about the same, 12.5, and then with the 13.5 or the 12.5 for the 37-inch BFG mud terrains. So anyway, research online was super limited. I watched a ton of videos and I stressed the fuck out about it for way too long, for like a year before I actually bought these tires. I really wanted them to look a little bigger, because 35s on a big ass F150 with a kit on it is just, it looks good, but it doesn't look as good as having bigger tires would. So through a lot of stress and anxiety, I ordered the 37 by 13.5 KMG BFG KM3s. Now, one thing I also did was I did this multiple times, but I would take the truck and I would drive it to get suspension flex. So I would like drive it in a ditch or on a hill to extend or contract or compress the actual suspension to see how close the tires would actually come to the inside wheel well and everything, while actually doing a full rotation on the steering wheel to see what would rub and what would hit. And I did this all with the 35s on it, and it was clearing everything okay. But when I tell you it's like a ½ inch from some stuff in there, it was literally a ½ inch from the front bumper and like a ½ inch from the rear crash bar. And that was like fully compressed, like if you were off-roading or something like that. It may have been like 3/4 of an inch. So anyway, to make a long story short, I still ordered the bigger tires. I still put them on there. And the night before, I started freaking out. And then right before I went to pick the tires up, I actually measured the tires again, and I put a tape measure across the tires and was turning the wheel, and the tape measure with the dimensions as best I could of the 37-inch tires that they said online, with those dimensions, it was actually hitting the front bumper and the rear crash bar, which is a complete nightmare. I was literally flipping the hell out. So I called up Discount Tire and spoke to people there, and I still went and had one tire put on and tested, turning the wheel all the way to the left, turning the wheel all the way to the right, making sure it wasn't hitting anything even when compressed. And they did not hit anything. The 37 13.5 20s did not rub or hit anywhere, which is completely crazy, but they fit. So that sure as hell made me happy as a clam, or whatever the hell happy people say, I don't know. So let me just show you the rear real quick. So here's the rear tire wheel well. Let me see if I can't get up in there. I don't know how well you can see, but there's plenty of space, plenty of room. And also the gap right here, that's pretty good as well, for compression and all that good stuff. So these 37-inch tires will fit with a 6-inch lift if you had previously had 35-inch tires on your rig. All right, I just want to cut in real quick because I've been editing the video for a while and would like to update two things. So first, the tires that I'm actually that I replaced, I call them 35s, which they are 35-inch tires, but they're actually 325 60 R20s. So that's 20-inch rims, and they're the size 325 60 tires. See how quiet it is? This is so quiet compared to the 35s or 325s that I had. At this speed, it literally sounded like I would have like machine gunners on each tire. Okay, anyway, yeah, the actual ones that say 35s, the KM2s that say 35s, they're actually 35-inch tires, right around the same size of the 325 60s, but they only came in 18-inch rims. So you couldn't get 20-inch rims on the KM2s. Largest rim size was the 18s. So they had, for whatever reason, the 325 60s. I'm pretty sure it's 325. I'll post up here, and you'll see later on in the video comparison to those actual sizes, like a size chart between all of them. I'll post it up. You'll actually see. Oh shit. Oh, come on now. Okay, anyway, see, you can hear the exhaust. So great. So anyway, the other disclaimer, I've like 4 miles on these tires and they're still super quiet, but I was able to get them to rub in certain situations. So the right tire, I can't see where it's rubbing, but the right tire will rub if you're off-roading and you're making a sharp left-hand turn while the nose of the truck is like diving down. So it will rub and hit. I don't know where it's rubbing and hitting. It's not bad, but it is. So anyway, that's the disclaimer. Just wanted to tell you guys that. And anyway, have any questions, hit me up. Carry on with the rest of the video. Now, not all, I could probably literally fit 38-inch tires on here with certain brands, because I know if you buy a 38-inch tire from one place and a 38-inch tire from a different brand, like they'll actually be a little different size-wise. So they could be a little taller, a little shorter, or a little wider, depending on what brand it is. And the BFGs seem to run a little small from what they are actually listed for size-wise. So 37, 36.5. So that was long-winded, but let me go ahead and give you a quick review. I've only had them for several days, been driving on them, and let me compare them to the old 35s I had. So basically a comparison between the KM2s and the KM3s. And real quick for clarity, I have not taken these off-road yet. There are a ton of reviews online of people taking them off-road and saying that they actually do just as good or better than the KM2s. So I believe them. There really doesn't seem to be too much different between the tread pattern besides having thicker sidewalls and all that good stuff. Less likely to puncture when you're off-roading by like a stick or a sharp stone when you're aired down or something like that. So real quick for the road noise, this is the biggest thing. The road noise, I was very worried about getting KM3s because I drive the truck a lot. I'm on the highway. And so I was really considering the KO2s, which is the all-terrain. So the reason I was thinking about the KO2s is longer life and quieter road noise. Now, the road noise doesn't bother me, but it could be very, very loud. These worn down KM2s, loud as shit. So loud. I don't mind the hum. It's almost peaceful. It's like a constant drumming that is just there at all times. You could be going 3 miles an hour, or you could be going 75 miles an hour. It is there at all times. The cool thing about it, it's pretty damn manly when each tire is drumming to its own 500 decibel beat. But anyway, I was very worried about that. And all the reviews online are like, oh, the KM3s are a little quieter, but they're still loud as shit. Now, the very first thing I noticed when I put the KM3s on there and I drove out of the parking lot and I went from 0 to 65 miles an hour is they're so damn quiet. These tires are super quiet. There is a hum around 65 miles an hour, probably around 50 I start hearing it, and it gets a little louder. It's not bad at all. Super quiet. I don't know how good the dampening is in F150s, but super quiet. I'm 100% happy with the way these sound on the highway when you're rolling. I don't know who the hell these people are talking about rolling off the lots with these, complaining about how loud they are. Now, I know when they get worn down, they get louder. The older they get, they do get louder. But still, people complaining with KM3s, brand new, and they're humming, should see a therapist. Because these, the KM2s I got, just right off the bat. Now, when I got them, they had probably 50% tread on them left, but KM2s worn down so loud compared to the KM3s. The KO2s, which people say are more quiet than the KM3s, must be like riding on a cloud or something. Because these bad boys will wake up your neighbors at 45 miles an hour. The KM3s are literally so quiet, I don't feel like a man driving around. Get some worn out KM2s if you want to feel like a man. These are the pretty boy tires that are super quiet. This bald piece of goodness here, a loud screeching Banshee. I like him bald. So I'm extremely happy with the purchase. Glad that the 37s fit with no rubbing, even when off-roading. And I gotta say, I am glad about how quiet they are too. Now I could actually hear the engine, I could hear the exhaust, I could hear music better. It's all around a lot better experience driving, especially if you have an exhaust or custom exhaust on your truck. Because I couldn't really hear the exhaust. I couldn't hear it on this. When I'm humming down the road at 50 miles an hour with these on, I could barely hear the exhaust, even when revving it. Now, I have that nice exhaust tone while accelerating or even driving. So that is one plus to having super quiet mud terrains. Or at least for right now, they're super quiet. Who knows what they'll be like with 10 or 20,000 miles on them. So as a review of handling, what are they like compared to the worn out KM2s while driving? Is the handling different or anything? It does seem a little softer. Like if you're cornering at 100%, the KM2s, you could only corner at like 95%. And that's probably most likely due to the larger size. But they literally feel almost the exact same handling wise. I did accidentally burn out the first day I got them. I was accelerating at a stoplight, dry, 60-degree weather, and peeled out one of the tires. So even though they feel like they handle well on the road, super easy to spin. Traction-wise, not as good as the KO2s supposedly on the road. I never owned the KO2s. I have owned the BFG all-terrain tires right here that I have on my Jeep. These are And you know, one reason I was actually thinking about the KO2s, these are the older versions of the KO2s, basically. These guys are awesome, completely awesome for off-roading. And I love them. I never got stuck before, almost got stuck mudding and driving in lakes and stuff like that. But those all-terrains are sick. I really, really like them. But I do like the look of these knobby tires better. I mean, look how knobby this. My God. Yeah, they look completely badass. But the all-terrains are super impressive. I just like the hardcore look of these mud terrains. But anyway, I'm gonna give a review on them maybe when I get 10-20,000 miles on them. Let everyone know how they hold up in snow or mud when I actually do take it off-roading, and how they handle on rocks and stuff like that. I did air them down and was rolling through some stuff with maybe like 7 pounds of pressure in there, and they held up really well. I was worried I was gonna pop a damn rim out of the tire, but nothing happened. It was all good. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll try to answer them the best I can. I'll be doing my LED light install review on this as well, which I've been trying to make for a while. And I'll be doing a fitness video here soon as well, hopefully. So that's all for today. Leave a comment, leave a like. Look how sick the tires are. Gotta love the KM3s. Blah.